What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 90. We are back at it again. Sorry for the delay with last episode as we weren't posting, but we're back here. I was in Jamaica, as you can see, my beautiful tan. I got my Jamaican necklace on. Of course, you
Nice.
can't go wrong. I was thinking of doing the braids, like full hair like Michael Scott style,
Oh, that would have been a horrible idea.
bringing back a steel drum and just like embracing hosting a party just for the Jamaican culture. If that's one of the best episodes of The Office, I think, is when Jamaica comes or Michael comes back from Jamaica and Jan he has that poster of Jan and then like he has to try and
Yes.
hide it from Jan and then Daryl puts it up and he's like, "Man, you a rock star, Mike. You a rock." It's one of the best episodes ever. I think personally, like underrated for sure. But yeah, I think
No,
most
I,
of
I
our
love that episode too.
yeah, I think most of our fans are Office fans. Most people are. Who doesn't love The Office? But anyway, we're not an office podcast. We are a sports podcast, and we are here to discuss some Blue Jays and some Leafs, specifically the Leafs, because my goodness, there's been some exciting things happening with that team. They're actually playing well for the most part, in the period of hockey that matters, and that's playoffs. So that's something that we will be discussing. But before we do that, let's talk about the Blue Jays. It's been interesting. We missed a lot because there in that time that we missed, roller coasters of emotion have occurred as a team has won a series with some great wins, and then we've lost some series. And we lost the game last night to the fucking Los Angeles Angels. Um, Jimmy Garcia and Jeff Hoffman both, I don't know what happened. It was like it was fucking Bradley Zimmer on the mound. Like it was like he was fucking who's the worst Jays pitcher? Brad Hand. That's the last one I could think of. Um, Tim Mesa was on the mound. Yeah, but it was rough,
Yeah.
man. It's been rough for that team. I don't know how much you've been watching our Toronto Blue Jays, but they're not a team to be watched right now. Like nobody is playing well, and the way they're playing is the exact same way it looks like they played last year. Almost worse, to tell you the truth, because they can't score a single fucking run. And it's absolutely embarrassing. I don't know what their issue is in terms of scoring these runs, but it always seems like the people that are up in when we need to score runs are the people that are struggling the most. Last night, Ernie Clement, Miles Straw coming up, popping up the ball, fouling or the striking out. Even Bo Bichette was playing like shit too. Like she went 0 for 4 last night. Um, I don't. We're not in panic mode yet, but it certainly feels like this team is just giving up at times. It just feels like they're giving up, and you get the lead in the eighth last night with the Santander home run, and you bring in Jimmy Garcia, and he fucking blows it right open. Like he's embarrassing, and it was really hard to watch, and especially the last series against the Cleveland Guardians, which they should have won. Again, they should have played better, but it's just in terms of rankings and team rankings. Let's take a look. Uh, MLB. They
They're
have
only three and a
been
half games back to the division.
I know, and that's what's the
So
thing is there, but the division is so shit. So right now it looks like yeah, the best team is obviously the Dodgers without a fucking doubt, but um the like the power ratings and the way they've been hitting um
they're right at the bottom.
they're right at the bottom. So
I think they have the least amount of home runs just in front of, sorry, the Royals.
the Royals, but then they had a
If
game the
I'm
other day where um they hit like 8 home runs in a game or some like a bunch. But right now the Blue
okay, so
Jays are
they're
in
we're
last. They're
last.
in dead last. We're at 25,
Nice.
along with
Love it.
the Chicago White Sox, Kansas City Royals, Pittsburgh Pirates. Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres. Like we're just not hitting.
Alongside the Colorado Rockies, who are potentially having could even dethrone the Chicago White Sox of the worst regular season record of all time. And they have more than us,
I know.
which is so sad to hear. And I can't believe this team is only 3 games below 500.
They
It does not
have
make sense to me at
right now the
all.
Jays have 118 RBIs compared to Chicago Cubs, which 219. They're in hits. They are basically last 20% of teams average. They are right now 238. And they're 19th out of the 30 teams. OPS, you take a look at the OPS. Right now, they're an abysmal 664, the seventh worst in all of baseball. In runs scored, they are pretty much last, 27th. It's fucking ridiculous. You have a team with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Anthony Santander, Bo Bichette, George Springer, and you can't hit home runs. I don't know what is the issue, but and then you look along to pitching, ERA 437. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's bad. And then, you know, let's see, earned runs in terms of pitching. Blue Jays 12th last. It's just things like that make it's impossible. Like they're just terrible, and that's not a way a team that's supposed to be as good as they are should play. And I don't want to say I'm at the point where I've given up because I don't think I have. I don't think I have, but it's only a month and a little bit into the season, but I've watched enough baseball to know what a good team looks like and a bad team looks like. And right now, they're a bad team on the field. They refuse to hit with runners in scoring position, which is the most. I don't think there's anything more annoying and fucking hard to watch than in the inability to hit with runners in scoring position. The other thing is like in football, a beautiful cat pass to a guy in the end zone and he drops the ball. Like that's infuriating. I'm sure that could be it. And then in hockey, it's like
Missing
taking a
an
penalty.
open net.
Yeah, missing. Yeah, but I think there's like
Missing an empty net like fucking Matthews did 2 nights ago. That really pissed me off,
that
but we'll
pissed
get
me
into
off
that
too. We
later.
should have scored that, and then that wouldn't have been a fucking as tight of a game as it ended up being. That I think is annoying, but I think what's more annoying is getting a penalty and then the team automatically scoring right then and there by a stupid penalty, like 6 men on the ice. Um, that's or too many men. Those are the annoying things. But I think out of all the annoying things that happen and occur in a sports game, it has to be inability to hit with runners in scoring position. You're 50 feet away or 90 feet away from home plate, and you can't fucking hit. You just can't. So it's bad.
Yeah.
It's not been good. Um, like
Yet
nobody's.
somehow we're still in the race for a playoff position, which is crazy.
Yeah, I know, but feel like it feels like they look like they think that they've have won one game like this entire season, and they're playing like it too. So
Yeah.
like the way they just carry themselves, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't know. They just like they're not. I don't think they're that good. I just don't think they're that good. It's not often you see, even in a month into the season, a team be able to switch it up from being having like one of the worst ERAs in all of baseball. Like they're just not playing well, and it is kind of what it is. I mean, excuse me. We've got other things that we're focused on right now, on a podcast, we're obviously not focused on the Bills and we're not focused on the Blue Jays as much. When Blue Jays playoff comes around, we're not going to be focused as much on the Leafs. But right now, it's Leafs time. And I've been very invested into that, and that's what's most important. And I got to put all my energy towards that at times over the Blue Jays because fucking the Blue Jays, it's just frustrating, man. And it's hard when they just don't fucking score. They just can't score. They never do. It's
I feel like the
consistent.
past couple of years they've just been a defense first team. and that's been showing through their signings
Basically, everybody's
that
ass is
they've
on the
made.
seat too. Like Ross Atkins,
Yeah.
Mark Shapiro. Like if they have another year where they fuck if they win 74 games and lose fucking 80 games, something like that, you're done. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not looking good. Um, but like you mentioned, it's very early in the season. I think we definitely got ahead of ourselves in the first couple weeks there where we thought, this team, could make a run for the division. That's obviously not the case. Uh,
No, they still can though.
you know,
That's the thing. They
yeah,
win.
I know they still can. They're still only 3.5 games back, but like, I think the Yankees, obviously,
The
and
Stinkies, yeah.
Boston even are a better team fundamentally than the Jays are
I
right now.
my opinion on the Yankees though is they literally only have Aaron Judge. They literally
Yeah.
Aaron Judge and Paul Goldschmidt's been good, but like Cody Bellinger's hitting like fucking 200 right now. Volpe fucking stinks. Like Austin Wells hitting like below 200. They have good pitching, like Max Fried. They have stars on their team, but other than that, like they ain't anything special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I do believe that. And you know what? Shockingly, Baltimore is falling behind. I think they're still dealing with injuries, no? Am I wrong in saying that?
what, Yankees or the Blue
No,
Jays?
the Orioles.
They're still no, they're not. Not even. They
No,
just suck.
they're just not having a good season.
They
Okay.
have a horrible like pitching staff.
Yeah,
Like
their pitching is not very good.
their starting pitching ERA is like 6 right now. Like the
Oof.
Orioles, um,
They lost a
they
few guys, right? They lost Corbin Burns last year.
they obviously they
Um,
lost Corbin Burns and like yeah they just they haven't been that good. They have not been good and they got like yeah Tyler O'Neill's has not been good either. He hasn't been good. Like and he's their big signing. He was their big signing last year. I mean, we take a look at like our team though. Like I think of Santander has been the biggest liability. Even though he hit a home run last night, you're not getting paid, you know, fucking what is it, 15 mil a year to hit 180. That's
yeah,
just not what you're getting paid to do. You need to be better than that. You have to be better than that. It's embarrassing how terrible he has been. And I'm embarrassed by how bad he has been playing. He needs to hit like he hit last year, and he has not been doing that whatsoever. He's got to be better. You just have to be. And it's fucking annoying when you sign a player and they end up turning just being an absolute shitter. Like, especially a 5 year contract. 5 years is a lot. It's a lot of fucking time. So, and
yeah,
it's bothersome. It's rough.
yeah. When your leading hitter of the season is George Springer, it's not a good sign.
I know George
But
Springer's hit.
let's hope this change. Let's hope this changes. Like Miles Straw has the same batting average basically as Vlad, which is kind of crazy to think about. Even though it's like, Miles Straw only has 55 at bats, compared to Vlad's 131. But
They
at the
have to
same
be better.
time, it's
They
also,
have to be
yeah, you
better.
have to be better.
You have to be better. There's nothing else I can say other than you have to be a better. You have to play better. You
Yeah.
hold accountability, and you have to be a better team at this point. Our starting rotation has been solid. Like Barrios, Gosman, and Bassett have been very good. Hopefully, Bowden Francis can rebound. And then we had Jose Urena, and then our other signing, Spencer Turnbull,
Mhm.
in lieu of Max Scherzer. So those guys can be solid for us. The one thing is, you have to score runs. That's going to be that'll be the poster for the obviously the our thumbnail will be something to do with the Leafs, but if the Jays one, if there was a Jays one, it's you have to score runs. You have to score
Mhm.
runs to win games, and that's rule of thumb. My that would be my advice to the team. That's the only way you're going to win games, and they haven't been doing that. So it's tough.
Like the defense is there. It's just the
mean, last
the
night's
offense
game
that
was
needs
not
to pick
good
up.
in terms of defense. So that Ernie Clement play, he did not play well. Um, I don't know if you saw missed the play. Kirk, very, very smart play. It was a bunt and he got the ball and they were trying to advance the runner to third. And Kirk basically had the
Mhm.
runner out. He had him out. He threw the ball to third and basically had him out. Ernie Clement just fucking missed the ball. And then they ended up scoring on the
Oh,
play. It's fucking horrible.
oh gosh.
If you go and watch it and see it on the Los Angeles Angels Instagram page after this game because they posted it, it's bad. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk about a little more positive things right now. I'll give you the reins here to discuss some of the
Okay.
Leafs right now. Let's talk about the first series, the ending of the first series, because
Yeah.
very good.
Ending the first series was very good. Um, we kind of, fell into uh that trap of the 3-0 series lead or the lead and trying to end it, and obviously the Leafs have had many problems with that in the past, trying to close out a series in game 7 or when we've had a lead in a series. And I thought game 4 could have went either way. uh that loss was fine, a tough loss in overtime, but it is what it is. Game 5, I thought, you know, Ottawa was going to come out hot, obviously, but it would have been nice if they won at home. But it's okay. Shutout at home is also obviously demoralizing. Um, but Ottawa was planning to come out hot, and they did, and you had to expect that for them. But I'm just glad that we finished it off in Game 6, because I think if the Leafs ended up losing that game, they definitely would have lost in Game 7. I think. Um, the fact that they lost 3 in a row. And I think they're
They
better
didn't lose
away
three in a
than they
row.
are at home.
Oh,
No,
if they.
I'm saying if they did lose game
Oh, okay.
6.
Sorry.
If
Yeah.
they did lose game 6, I think, the fact that they would have lost 3 in a row. It would have, not looked good on them, and they would have had that in the back of their minds. And I also think they played better away than they do at home. So game 7 would have been horrible, in my opinion. But we're past that. So game 6 was very good. I thought Stolarz was fantastic. We'll get into him later. But I thought that series he played very good. Um, not a lot of shaky stuff from him apart from game 5. Um, I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously we can talk about the other series really quickly in in round 1. I thought round 1 was fantastic all around the board.
Yeah, it
I mean, the
was.
Eastern Conference was kind of meh. Not a lot of exciting games going on there. Like the only really exciting series was the Leaf series, because the other 3 went in 5. But the Western Conference was um, fantastic. Specifically in my opinion, the Edmonton LA series. I could have watched another 4 or 5 games of that any day. Completely no defense whatsoever. Goals were going in left, right, and center, but the offense and, the intensity of the game was very entertaining. And, Edmonton, LA, they've been playing each other in the first round for 4 straight years. LA still can't do it. I thought they'd be able to do it this year, but clearly they can't.
Nope.
There's something going wrong with with them in Edmonton. They got to figure it out. I don't think they've made it past the first round since they won the cup in 2014. I
Oh
may be
my
wrong on
God.
that, but it's been a while since they've done anything past the first round. Also, the Dallas Stars Colorado series was phenomenal, and I knew it would be. I knew it would go at least 7, at least 6 or 7 games. And the 7th game with Rantanen scoring a hat trick in 10 minutes was unreal. Like
Yeah.
against his former team, who didn't let him secure the big contract, who didn't want to pay him, and then he says "F you" to them, scores the hat trick. Uh, Just awesome hockey. Landeskog coming back in game three, scoring in game four, like just so many great storylines. And then obviously you got Winnipeg in St. Louis, game seven, one of the best like comebacks I've ever seen at the end of that game, which was insane.
That was
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and obviously I picked Winnipeg, but you picked St. Louis. But I think as a Canadian, rooting, obviously you don't want American teams to, to keep moving on. So it was nice to see Winnipeg, see more Canadian teams move on. There's still three left. I think it's the most there's been in a second round since 2004.
I think it's
So that's
awesome.
really exciting.
I
I
love
think
it.
it's really
Yeah.
exciting to see, Canadian teams succeeding other than Montreal, which was nice to see them lose. I'm glad they're out. Um,
It
but
went
other
actually
than
perfect for you. It actually went perfect for you.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Like
I literally said in the predictions.
Leafs
Yeah, Leafs
advance,
advance,
Ottawa
Ottawa,
loses, and Montreal
Montreal.
loses. And then also the teams that like don't matter until the finals are move continue, like Edmonton and Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice to see that. Um, I literally said in the prediction episode that I knew Montreal, I'm not gonna lie, they played well. They kept the series exciting. And then game five, it was like, yeah, you guys, you had a good run. And
It's
then,
not their year though.
you
It's
had
not their year. It was never their
no, they're
year.
very young. I think Demidov was very good. Um, Slavkovsky and those guys, like, yeah, it felt very similar to that Maple Leafs Capital series a few years ago when it was when it was Matthews and Marner's rookie year, and they, played an experienced Washington team with Ovechkin and Backstrom and all those guys. Um, it felt very similar to that, but I give props to Montreal, even though they fucking suck. So it was nice to see them lose. But yeah, I think these round two series are going to be very exciting. With Dallas and Winnipeg, I personally I think Dallas is going to roll over them because they were fantastic against Colorado, and Hellebuck being very shaky, being pulled three times, all of them being away from Winnipeg is very concerning for them. So I just think Dallas is going to run over them this series. And Washington, Carolina, already a good first game. That was last night. We're filming this on the Wednesday. Um,
OT.
and Edmonton,
That was a
Vegas
good game, yeah.
was a very good game last night as well. So these series could go either way. And obviously, what we're going to talk about now, Florida, Toronto off of game one.
That was
This
another.
definitely,
I mean, from a fan's perspective, like an outsider fan, Florida versus Leafs series or for game one would have been very entertaining for them. For me, it was still entertaining because they won, but scary.
yeah, very scary towards the end, especially the third period. First two periods, though, I thought we played our best hockey of the playoffs,
Yeah.
especially the first period. Uh, we definitely brought a statement. A lot of people were doubting the Leafs in this series, including me, that they would, struggle against, Florida, who's a very aggressive team, very hard on the puck. Um, likes to be chippy, do stupid shit after the whistle, get in your get under your skin, after the whistle. And the Leafs shrugged that off and they played very well in the first two periods. Third period, after Stolarz obviously left, I think was it midway through the second or at the end of the second? I can't remember. Um, After, Bennett being an absolute D-bag, still don't know how there was no uh still how there's no fine or even hearing for that. I don't really want to get into much in that because, we'll be here for 10 minutes just talking about that. But
I'll just say that I think it was a shitty play. Um, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. Uh, honestly, because it like it didn't look like it hit him that hard. It just didn't. Like if you, it's
mm,
not like he went fucking like elbow like crazy. He did hit his head,
right.
But I think there was a play before that actually hurt him, like when his helmet. I think his helmet came
Yeah,
off,
he got
or
shot. He got a shot to the face. Yeah,
yeah,
and his
I
helmet
think
fell
that was the
off.
play. And then I think the head might have just triggered something, or just like, I don't know what it was, but I think it was from a play before, because I remember he was shooken up and he was on the ground for a second there after play, like in the crease. And so I think that was the big thing. But again, I think it's still, yeah, Sam Bennett's, it's ridiculous. He's a if he's on our team, I'd fucking love it. I'd love to have
Right.
Sam Bennett on my team. A 25 goal scorer, fucking like 50-point guy that is just a fucking great in the playoffs. Like he's been playing great. Like scored like I don't know. He's already got like a few goals, like four or something like that. He's yeah. So he's
Florida has
annoying.
a lot of those guys who you hate when they're on the other team, but you'd love if they
They
were on your
literally have
team.
all of them. They have
Marchand, they have all of them in the league. They have Marchand, they have Tkachuk, they have Bennett, they have Mikula, who was an asshole last game,
yeah.
Kulikov, who was also an asshole, but I don't really want Kulikov on my team if I'm being completely honest. But Reinhardt, he's not really, he's not really doesn't really get
Reinhardt's just
involved.
fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just an insane player. But you know what I'm
I
trying to
do. I
say.
do. I do.
But yeah,
They've
but
just got annoying players that fucking are good and
yes,
like
exactly. But yeah, back to game one. I think the third period, it was also nice to see, after those two goals they gave up, back to the one goal lead. The Leafs kind of stepped it up a little bit. They had some opportunities in the final half with
yeah.
Nyes obviously scoring, which was a fantastic goal, like one of the best goals I've seen him score. And yeah, it was great to see, not back down from, letting up those two goals in 3 minutes. It's just they can't, let off the gas for a short period of time because, Florida can do that too. They're very aggressive
Yeah.
all the time. Even if they're down 4 goals, they're still going to forecheck on you. And I think just what they have to do better is be better on the power play because they had a lot of chances that game. I think they had 4 power plays, 4 or 5 power
Yeah.
plays that game,
And they're going
and
to
they
be
didn't
getting lots of
score.
power plays, because if they're going to be playing
Yes,
like that,
because Florida's going to keep playing like this for the rest of the series. So they just got to be better on that. But other than that, like I think the Leafs played a very good game. I think they just need to be better in all three periods and play confident hockey and just, try and capitalize more on the bullshit that's given to them and, score on the power play. But I thought the game one they played very well. I just hope that game two, I hope Wall. I think a lot of people are doubting him because Stolar's been very good, obviously. But Wall has 27 wins this season, and if you
and he
go
was
back
there for a
to
lot of it when
yeah, if you
Bullars
go
was out.
back if you go back last year to the playoffs in against Boston last year, he was the reason why they were in the series. You know what I mean? He
And
was the
and
reason
I
why they
I'll
got to game seven
yeah.
was because of Wall. And
And
then, Wall obviously was out game seven for I don't know what it was. It was undisclosed, but he was out game seven, and that was why they lost because he wasn't in. So, I think the reason why he struggled game one is because he was obviously not warm.
he didn't warm
Hadn't
up. No,
played
they didn't
he
give him a
hadn't
warm
played a
up.
game in weeks. You know what I mean? So I think, he's prepared now. He knows what the task is, and I think he'll be prepared for it. I'm confident. I'm confident in him. I just don't think that, we're filming this on the Wednesday, so it's game two's tonight in an hour or so. I think the Florida is going to come back and win this game. I hope I'm wrong. Like I hope the Leafs take a 2-0 lead,
It's
but I
just
just think
too, yeah,
Florida
too close of
Florida
a
had
series.
that was probably their worst game they played this playoffs. Florida, so I think they're gonna come back hard, very hard. I think the Leafs might take some stupid penalties off of what happened game before,
I
and
hope
Florida's gonna
not.
capitalize on that.
I think, well, I just heard people saying they should bring Ryan Reeves up, which is one of the
That's a horrible
dumbest.
idea.
That is the
Horrible idea.
worst idea I've ever heard of.
He will just
Uh,
be taking up ice.
be taking up ice and getting dumb if he does get a penalty and fucking fights like Bennett. It's the worst idea. The I People who came up with that need to have their fucking brain checked. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, and I saw. Obviously, this is rage bait, but I saw someone say you got to bring back Kyle Clifford for one shift, just to hit Bennett. I thought that was pretty funny. Kyle Clifford is, if anyone doesn't know who Kyle Clifford is, he was on the Leafs for a little bit a few years ago, but now he's like a Marlies veteran guy.
Yeah.
He's like literally on the fourth line of the Marlies, and he just he's like Reeves, but he just bodies people.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
don't want him. I don't. I want the opposite of him.
yeah,
Um, the other thing I was gonna say is, yeah, you kind of mentioned it about Wall. These are completely different circumstances that he is playing in. I think we know that in the bright lights, he's fucking great. And when we're like on the edge of extinction, basically in on game, what was it? Game like game 4 and 5, I want to say, or 5 and 6, I think, of the Boston series when Wool played. Uh he fucking came up clutch and like let in like what, like 2 goals, 2, 3 goals throughout that series.
yeah.
So yeah, I have full faith in him. I'm not worried. And also he has his teammates to fucking back him up with scoring goals too and getting behind
Hmm.
like they did last game against a fucking great goalie like Bobrovsky. So um they're not going to be able to fucking. It's just not how hockey's going to work. They're not going to score 5 goals every game. Um,
Yeah.
but they play like they did last game, minus like the third period, first 10 minutes. By the end, by the end they were playing much better. But um, yeah, and I also
Yeah.
think Stolers is going to be back too. I think
Yes, I
they.
think so too. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think he participated in the morning skate today, but I don't think it was that bad enough for him to he's out of the hospital obviously from last night, but I think he'll come back in one of the games in Florida. But I just hope, if they do win game two, that's obviously fantastic, and that means all they have to do is just win one game in Florida, and they're up 3-1, which is a fantastic, like we mentioned with the Ottawa series. We talked about being up 2 games, and all they needed to do is win one game, and that's what they did, and that's how they won the series. So yeah, I thought this team was very resilient in game one. I hope they're like that in game two, and in game three when we come back.
I think
So
this is the biggest series of for the Leafs. I saw this on Spit Chicklets. I'll take their what they said about it. This is a huge series for the
hmm
Leafs because this is the fucking this is the gauntlet. Like Florida is the best. They are a playoff fucking ready team. Like
yeah,
even in the regular season, like if they suck, they're gonna be great in the playoffs. Look at 2 years ago when they were the eight seed against the 1 seed Boston. They fucking beat them. Like
yeah,
this is the team to beat. They are.
yeah.
And if you can get past Florida, then you really should be able to beat any team aside from maybe like
hmm
Dallas, which Dallas is a scary.
Right.
They are just genuinely.
Yeah.
But
I also think that they also mentioned that too. If I think whoever wins this series goes to the cup, because I think either of these teams can beat Washington or Carolina. Like if Florida beats Toronto, they can easily beat either team. If Toronto beats Florida, then I think they have, that the juice in them to say, you know what, we if we can beat Florida, fuck it, we can beat anyone. You know what I mean? They're
yeah,
the
I know
strongest team in
exactly
the
what you mean.
playoffs right now. They can easily beat Washington away, and they can beat Carolina, who'd be coming to Toronto. So I think I feel very confident if they do somehow win this series, then they can definitely, you
Mhm.
know, they can
It's
definitely
it's
go to
gonna
the
be
cup.
fucking. It's an uphill
But I
battle
don't want to
though.
get ahead of myself because
No, no, no.
they
I
gotta
know.
win they gotta win,
But
three
it
more
is a big
games into this
series, and it
series.
is a big series. It's a
Yes,
good
it's definitely the
start, and we
biggest
got to
series
take the
of
positive out of that game because last time we faced Florida, we only scored. What was the most goals we scored in one game? 2 or 3, something like
right.
that. We've already scored 5. We also didn't win a game until the fourth game
Game
of the
four.
series,
Yeah.
which is a huge difference. A huge difference. Like that
Yeah.
series wasn't even close. Like we know that. Like
Yeah.
that series wasn't even close. This is going to be a better series because we have better goaltending, we have better defense, and we have a better, more experienced offense as well. With also players that depth in our offense. I
I
think
guess
so.
so. Yeah,
Matthew Nyes was
I
actually no,
understand.
Matthew
I
Nyes was great
understand
in that
that.
Florida series. We
Yeah.
yeah, like and Bobby McMahon still hasn't fucking gotten hot. My favorite. Like
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, I think he's got to improve. I think everyone else is, doing their job. McMahon's kind of fallen off a bit. You know, it was really. I'm not going to say he's useless, but Holmberg has done absolutely nothing these playoffs,
yeah.
and he was on the second line for a good portion of that first series.
No, I think everybody's been great. Yeah, everybody
I think
except like a few.
Pacioretty coming in. At first I didn't like Pacioretty coming into the
No,
team in game
I love
three.
Pacioretty
He
now.
was, yeah.
Like,
Now I love Pacioretty. He's playing great.
yeah,
He's being physical and he's making good plays.
and he's
So,
scoring like the
um,
game go ahead goal. Like,
yeah, yeah. We didn't even mention
Even
that
Scott
in our
Lautenberg,
earlier
man,
discussion.
like that dude with the fucking that what I saw something that said that first round pick isn't even close to the amount of help that block shot gave to the Leafs in
Right,
that, which
right.
led to the breakaway, right? And then they scored.
Yeah, that's led to Nylander's empty net goal.
Yeah.
So
So that Tanev's been great. Fucking the goat.
love
Like
Tanev. Yep.
Ekman Larson was great.
Riley big goal in game
Playoff
one.
Riley is a real thing.
He now has the most goals by a defenseman in Leaf playoff history.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, man. Hopefully this keeps up, and by the time we film next podcast, it'll be game five. So which it'll probably go to game five. I doubt the Leafs sweep the Panthers. Um, but hopefully the Leafs are either tied or they're up 3-1. But let's hope they're up 3-1. Um, but now let's go to our top five draft. Um, Ryan, you introduce it because it was your choice
We
this
got a
week.
good one today. I'm excited because a movie recently came out from the MCU called The Thunderbolts, which according to Ryan was very, very good. And
Yes, very enjoyed it. I
yeah,
enjoyed it a lot. It's
so
been a while. Let me just say this. It has been a while since I've enjoyed a Marvel movie. Um, Probably dating back to the last Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
So um in honor of our list, in honor of the Marvel movie coming out, we're going to do a list of top five MCU movies of all time. We're obviously big movie guys, so that means we're big MCU nerd fans. I mean, I am when I was a kid, 100%. Now it's not as much because I'm an adult and the movies just suck. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah,
Me and my friend Benedict. I hope he's watching this. I literally texted him after you mentioned that you want to do MCU films because we go to the theaters every single Marvel movie, and we obviously like you, we're big MCU nerds, Marvel comics, guys. So I was glad to actually watch a good movie, a Marvel movie in the theaters. I mean, I'm excited for Fantastic Four. I'm hoping that's good because
I
it's
think
been a
that could be
while.
good. It's different. It
Yeah,
seems like it's
I
going to
hope
be
it's
very different.
good. Um, it definitely feels different. I'm hoping Doomsday next year, is not, too overhyped, and I don't see any shitty CGI in it, and they actually put their money towards some good things. Um, but there's also bad things, like I've been waiting for a Blade movie for years that I've been wanting and needing. I've been needing a Blade movie, and they have not come out with that. Just delaying the fuck out of everything. It's very annoying. It's very annoying. But we will be talking about the good of the MCU and
Yeah.
its prime. Uh, um, by the way, I checked the voting from last week, and I won last week, so I will be going first
All right.
this week. And I think this first pick is you probably would have picked this as well. One of these two, but I'm picking Infinity War as my
Oh,
first pick.
fuck. All right.
It was going to be one. It was either going to be that or probably what you're going to pick next.
Yeah. Okay. Infinity War. Um, no, I'm not. Should I? Yeah, it probably makes most sense. Uh, but you're just gonna, our lists are gonna be too similar.
Yeah,
Just
it's tough, man.
um,
It's tough.
no, I'll do number one's got to be Iron Man. Number one is going to
Wow,
be
that's a good pick. It's a very good pick.
yeah.
Classic.
It
So
is.
you're
It's
going to number
what
one, yeah.
started it off. It's the it's what got everything started in the MCU. You had John Favreau, Robert Downey Jr. And they made a movie, and it's great. It's original. It's
Yeah.
interesting. The characters are interesting. It's just the action is great. The CGI is great. The VFX, everything about it is just
Yeah.
high quality. The story's interesting, and it's a real action movie. It's the definition of an
Hmm.
action movie. It's fun. It just has all the aspects to being a good
Yeah.
movie, and they fucking hit it right on the nail with Iron Man. It didn't make a ton of money, but it's kickstarted the MCU, and
Right.
then from there on, it just
And it
fucking
just,
went up.
yeah, skyrocketed from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good pick. Um, I mean, I have to. I have to go Endgame. I mean, it's it's the probably the most fun I've ever had in a movie theater.
Okay.
Uh, the best movie theater experience I've ever had. Um, easily right there with Infinity War and um, maybe a movie that we might mention later. But I think, yeah, Endgame, I think just the build up to it after Infinity War, I think was just unmatched to any movie or any pop culture
Hmm.
thing our generation has experienced, in my
One of the
opinion. So
best
I
theater
had
experiences ever. Yeah.
yes, 100%. I went opening night at midnight with all the boys. It was fantastic.
Hmm.
So I have to put that at number two.
Cool. All right. At number two, my number two, I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume One. Um,
Yeah.
this is nobody even knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were like when this came out. Like I remember seeing like just the poster and it just had the Guardians of the Galaxy logo, and I was like confused as fuck. I was like, I've never heard of
Hmm.
this. I don't know what this is gonna be. Turns out to be just an awesome movie with one of the best soundtracks of all time. Hilarious too. Like I remember seeing this in the theater, just laughing the entire time. Um, Great story, great score too. The score is really good. And then like you skyrocketed the career of like Chris Pratt in with this movie. He's great as the
Hmm.
lead. It's a
Dave Batista's acting career definitely skyrocketed after
yeah,
this,
you
I
know, you
think.
got like Bradley
Um,
Cooper, Vin Diesel, Zoe Saldana.
yep.
It's a great cast and a great movie, great score. Um, yeah, it's like yeah, it's just a great action-packed film. So
Mhm.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I also think it was interesting too, that Marvel chose to go with that. It was the first film they ever did, aside from Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, and Avengers, obviously, or and Hulk, like the main
The main
Marvel movies.
four, yeah.
I'm very surprised that they went with Guardians of the Galaxy when I, first first saw that they were going that route. And obviously, personally, I didn't even know about them, and or didn't, I knew them like in comics, but like I didn't know the extent of like,
Now
every
they're
character and
huge.
everything.
Like now
And
they're
yeah, it was definitely a big risk Marvel took, and it paid off
it's you
tremendously.
got to thank James Gunn for that. That's all him right there.
Yeah, he's a genius, man. He's a genius, and I hope to God the Superman movie in the summer is good. Like I
I
hope
mean,
it
he
is.
he hasn't had a miss to tell you the truth. Like when he came up
No.
with the Suicide Squad, like that's a great movie too.
Yes.
Like
And I also think Peacemaker is
yeah, there you go.
fantastic. If you haven't seen Peacemaker and you're a big superhero fan, watch Peacemaker. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. I'm so hyped for season two for that. But yeah, great choice. That was gonna be my number three. Um, but instead I have this is actually my dad's favorite uh Marvel movie. I'm gonna go with Captain America Civil War for my third pick. Obviously, the introduction of Spider-Man in the MCU, which was huge. In the trailer, I'm like, holy shit, the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2 years after Andrew Garfield, which was pretty crazy. Um, which is pretty crazy to see. Obviously, the introduction to Tom Holland, but I just think the fact that, all these, it's basically an Avengers movie, if you think about it, because all these different characters come together, but it's not for the sake of like, the end of the world. You know what I mean? They're just literally beating their asses. Two different teams, they're beating their asses in an airport in Germany.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what it is. You know what I mean? It's not for the end of the
I think
world.
the
It's all
plot is really
about,
good. That's what
yes,
makes.
yeah, it's really good. It's like it really feels like a comic book. You know what I mean? Like a comic book movie, and that's why I really like it.
Mhm.
And obviously, like I mentioned with Spider-Man and the deep history with Winter Soldier and Hydra and
Mhm.
Shield with Tony's dad and stuff, and that whole thing just brought together. I thought that was really well done. Um, Really kind of the Russo brothers, cementing themselves as definitely the best um, directors, and obviously led on to for them to do the Avengers movies. Um, and they're doing Doomsday next year, doing these big high budget movies for even Netflix. So yeah, I thought Civil War was very good.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna put that at number three.
All right. A number. I got to do this before you get it. I got the original Avengers 2012.
Yeah.
Um, dude, it's actually insane. Like I was like a fucking I was an 8-year old when that movie came out. I saw this opening night or like Friday night, the Friday night at 11 o'clock. And at that point, it was like too late for me too to be able to see that. And the reason
Right.
that they did, it was like I was gonna go with like my grandpa and my dad, and then like
Hmm.
it got to like close to the time, and then my dad's like, "No, it's too late. We can't go." And then I started crying. Like I was like, "No, I want to
Right.
see Avengers." Because like
Yeah.
I at this point I had loved Iron Man, I'd loved Captain America, I'd loved all those movies. I had seen all of them,
Yeah.
and like I was just like the Avengers, it's actually happening. It's so exciting. You saw the trailer, which is awesome. Like you got Hulk and fucking you got all of them. You got all the guys there. So that was
Hmm.
and I just remember opening night, I just remember being blown away. Just blown away. My eyes were glued to the screen, wide open, just the entire time. Um, and it's a core memory from me from my childhood watching the Avengers. I think of all those moments, but Avengers is it's got to be number three. It's also just a good movie too. Like they were able to
Yeah.
get all these characters together and do such a good job. And it's entertaining. It's simple too. It's not a insane plot. Like their villain is Loki. Like Loki was already the villain of the other movie, and
Mhm.
then they just brought him back and like did it again basically. And he's
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah.
Yeah. Good pick. I'm going with another Captain America movie. I'm going Winter Soldier. At number four. Uh, Easily the best fight scenes. Best hand-to-hand combat choreography out of any of the movies. Um, Bringing in Winter Soldier, probably my favorite character, like one of my favorite characters, like
Oh,
now.
so
Uh,
annoying.
just
Yeah.
yeah, he's just gotten cool. Like he was so cool in that movie, and um, I
Yeah,
think
it's a good
the relationship with Captain America and Hydra is like it's so good, and obviously I'm just a sucker for World War II stuff. So like I think I think anything related to World War II is um is really cool. And obviously Scarlett Johansson. So that's also a main
yeah.
part of it. That's probably the best she's looked in any of the movies, in my opinion, is Winter Soldier. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I have a number four.
Okay. My number four pick, I got another just absolutely entertaining movie. Iron Man 3. I love this movie.
Oh God,
People
get the
hate
fuck.
it. People hate on it for the fucking man or fucking the Mandarin twist. I love Iron Man 3 with a passion. I think all like the final scene, the suit setup, I like that he's like he has to actually like use the skills that he has in a setting where he doesn't have all this insane technology and find a way to like be the fucking mastermind that he is. You know, Robert Downey Jr.'s at an all-time high here. He's the best. And then, I think Iron Man 3 is great. I think it's great. It fucking did great at the box office. It's funny. It's entertaining. I love it. I love Iron Man 3.
Okay.
Bro, your next pick's gonna be Iron Man 2. Yeah, I already know. Like,
no, it's not. It's not. It's
I know
not.
you love Iron Man 2,
Oh, I think it's one of the most badass movies ever made.
but
But it's not. It's not. It's not on my list. It's not on my list.
fair enough.
Uh, okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Thor Ragnarok at number five. Yeah. I think, bringing in Taika Waititi was a good choice, and then you brought him in for the fourth movie, and then he just like, his mind just went berserk, and it just went a
We got a
little
little
too
too excited.
overboard. Yeah, he got a little too excited. He stayed pretty stationary for Ragnarok, and that's why I thought he did a really good job. Great villain, hella great villain. Uh, you had these like little cameos with Matt Damon. I thought that was really cool. Bringing him in. The action sequences are great. I think bringing in Hulk was really cool. Putting him on like the planet with Thor and they battled it out again. I thought that was really interesting. And the Thor obviously his Mjolnir breaking and him losing his eye and becoming the actual god of like true god of thunder, not relying on his hammer. I thought that was really true to his character. And I'm a big fan of Thor, and obviously the first two were uh just not good at all. Just a lot
First
of
one's not
problems.
horrible. The first one's not
Yeah, but
terrible.
the second one there's a lot of
Yeah.
problems, and I was very happy to see that the third one
Mhm.
brought love to Thor, and then the fourth one obviously just went to shit. But yeah, Ragnarok's fantastic, and obviously great soundtrack, great music. Um, so I'm gonna put that number five.
All right, my number five pick will be Spider-Man Homecoming. Um, it's
Interesting.
actually,
Okay.
I think it's just a great coming of age film, to tell you the truth. I think it is it's entertaining. Tom Holland and Ned are just a great duo. Even Zendaya is great in it too, but they've got a good cast. Like they have like JB Smoove and Martin Starr in this and Hannibal Burgess, like who are just like good comedic like comedians, honestly. And then they
Hmm.
have them as in that just add to the whole appeal of the movie. And then like the villain, I love Mike Keaton, a great actor.
Yeah.
And I think Homecoming's just it's a simple film. It's not a crazy insane plot either. Like nothing crazy, and that's what adds to like you don't need all these like movies where like fucking like people are like these giant celestial beings are destroying
Hmm.
worlds, and you're like, okay, what the hell did any of that other shit mean? If like these
Yeah.
guys are where the fuck were these characters? It's like an easy film that like really does not have an effect on the other stuff that's going on within the MCU world. Um, so that's why I gotta say Spider-Man Homecoming, number five. It's an easy watch. It's like a funny
Yeah.
movie. It's good, simple. The final, yeah, it's just great. Good movie.
Yeah. Good pick there. I'm gonna go with an interesting one here for my honorable mention. You definitely wouldn't see this coming. I'm gonna
Thanks.
go with Shang-Chi
Uh,
at honorable mention. Honestly, I think this does not get enough love. I think Shang-Chi. I was very, obviously Simu Liu, who's a Canadian fellow Canadian. Um, I thought the fight scenes were fantastic. The CGI was pretty good for, a newer MCU movie. Not as high of a budget as the other ones, which I think that helped. Uh, with the CGI, I think they spent less on it, which funny enough makes it look better. I don't know, maybe Marvel should look into that a bit more and spending, not too much on these fucking blue screens and shit. But I thought Shang-Chi was really good. Obviously, another story that's not, end of the world type shit. It's him fighting his dad, and then, at the end with the dragon, I thought it was fucking sick. Uh, like I mentioned with the fight scenes, the bus scene I thought was really cool. When he's fighting Ivan Drago's son in Creed 2, I forgot the actor's name. But he's fighting him in the bus. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, Shang-Chi's really good. It's kind of similar to Homecoming with like, kind of like that, not, coming of age, but like a simple story. It's also very easy watch. I watch it all the time, man. I love Shang-Chi. It does not get enough love, and I'm very excited for him in Doomsday because he had his sequel has been delayed and delayed and delayed. Um, I'm very excited to see what he's going to be like in Avengers. So that's who I'm looking forward to the most, in my opinion, is
That's
Shang-Chi,
good.
and then what his full potential is
Oh
with
man,
the 10 rings.
Th-
I'm very excited to see
this
what
is a
that looks
tough
like.
this is a tough end for my honorable mention, but um, it could go a few different directions, honestly. Um, but I think I'm gonna, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's my
Yeah,
honorable mention.
that was my other pick.
Yeah, it was either gonna be that or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Spider-Man Far From Home. Um, those would have been my two different choices.
In our list. I was
Um,
close to putting it because, obviously, Tobey and Andrew Garfield coming back. I thought that was really cool. But, as the story goes, it wasn't very, you know,
it
as you
wasn't an
rewatch it,
insane movie. It was
you
so
think,
forced. It was so forced, but it's still awesome to see those guys.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, I'll just explain it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I think they basically did the exact same thing that they did with the first one and did a great job. And it's got a great score.
Hmm.
It's a development story of the character of Peter Quill, and it's just yeah, it's entertaining. It's the same sort of thing. The characters are great. You have the development of also fuck, what's the blue girl's name? Nebula. Um,
Yeah.
she's great, and then the Kurt Russell is an awesome villain as Ego.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, is that his name? Ego?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But he's great. So, and also again, the score is fucking fantastic. Like Lakeshore
Yeah.
Drive, Wham
Guardians of the
Bam
Galaxy is
Shangalang,
unbeatable.
Mr. Blue Sky, My Sweet Lord. Like I just remember it, like all those moments. I remember seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with my buddies, and just being like the intro is just so awesome to Mr. Blue Sky with Baby Groot. Like it's great.
Yeah. It's very well done. I think, yeah, James Gunn does a very honorable. Volume 3 is also very the villain in that. It's kind of, it's not really, he's not really the best, you know,
In Volume 2?
compared to, what's that?
In Volume 2?
Volume 3.
Oh yeah.
Volume 3. I think Volume 3, the villain's just,
I think
not really,
that's not even the point of the
not that
story.
developed as much as Kurt Russell or, what was what's Buddy's name in the first one? Shit. It was like Thanos's, like,
Ronan?
yes, Ronan. Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Ronan was really cool.
He is.
But
He's just fucking crazy.
I just think the third villain just wasn't as developed. It was just, I
He
thought,
seemed too
it was
similar to the
nice.
other villains. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice that Rocket got like his own little story, but I just thought it was a little forced.
Bro, that was so
You
sad
know,
though. That was so sad.
it was a very sad movie. Um, but nonetheless, all three are great.
Yeah.
Um, hoping for a fourth one.
Doubt it. But yeah. Anyway, I think that ends it off. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, listening to the episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, check us out on the TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We will be on all those platforms, Spotify as well. Also, go Leafs, go. Ryan, do you have anything else to say, my friend?